Hello guys, I'm going to share my screen. All right, can everyone see my screen, the slides?
Yes, looks good.
All right, first off, my name is Zach Alvstad. I am a software developer for Clever and F5 here in Oklahoma. And today I'm going to go over how to set up a template repo on GitHub, deploy a website on GitHub for free, plus a little bit about Lighthouse. This talk is geared towards a very beginner level, so I'm just going to use HTML, CSS, and vanilla JavaScript. I know there are a ton of great frameworks out there, and it all depends on the project, but I still use this stack for probably 80% of the websites I build. And in terms of performance, you can't get more lightweight than that, so let's jump right in. We're going to go over to the terminal. Make sure you're in desktop or whatever folder you want to be in. And you're going to use the command mkdir, which stands for make directory, which you will use all the time. Give your project its name, something like cool website template. It can be whatever you want. Hit enter. I already have it made, so I'm going to delete. And then we will cd into the project. Cd is another terminal command you will use all the time, which stands for code directory, change directory. Into that. Then I have a shortcut to open Visual Studio Code, and we're in. So obviously yours will not look like this. You will have a blank canvas. Right, the world is yours. You can build whatever you want. And it's time to think about what every website needs, what every website has, what they all have in common. So first things that come to mind for me are a navbar, a footer. You probably need a contact page, probably an about page. So a pretty straightforward, simple website here. Whenever I first started building websites, I built a navbar like this. I just had a logo, a burger, a mobile nav menu, home, about us, contact us with links to all of our pages. Everything looks fine, but what happens if you want to make a change? Let's say we want to remove us. I would have to do it here, and then I would have to go to the contact page. I would have to remove it there, which is all fine if your website is only 2 or 3 pages, but if you have a 50-page website, it's going to be very painful to make all of those changes. So what can we do? There's a lot of, with all the frameworks like Vue and React, you'll probably have some kind of router out of the box. Which is great, but I'm a big fan of learning the foundations first. And if you spend some time in vanilla JavaScript, then you'll be able to better understand what problems Vue and React are solving. So we need to create something that's called a component. And again, if you've used Vue or React, you've heard of a component before. So I'm going to comment this out. Our old, ugly, very static navbar. And now we've consolidated it to this. So I have my navbar, I have my logo, I have my mobile nav, I have my mobile nav menu, and my desktop nav, but there's no code. So where is it coming from? Up here in my JS directory, you can see I have another directory named components, and I have a navbar component. I've just wrote some variables here and moved all of that code into them, and then pushing them into those classes with inner HTML. So now over here I have my mobile nav menu. If we want to make a change, now we only have to do it in one place. So everything is much cleaner. It will save you a lot of time and headaches, and your future self will thank you, I promise. So now you can continue on building your website. Remember, this is a template website, so we're going to use it over and over again at the beginning of each project. We're ready to push it up to GitHub. So how do we do that? Let's go over to GitHub in your repositories. I'm using dark mode here, like all of the cool software devs these days. We'll hit new over here in the top right. We'll give it a name, CodeCamp. I guess I already used that once earlier when I was practicing. Let's make sure it's public so that you can deploy it unless you have a pro account. but we'll just assume you don't for now. Create the repository. We already have a project locally, so we can ignore this. So we need to take this first, git remote add origin, which basically links our local project to GitHub. We'll paste it here into the terminal. We made a few changes locally in our IDE, so let's git add period. Make sure you don't forget the period. Git commit -m, which stands for message. First commit. And then we can git push origin master. You'll probably not use git push origin master much. I hope you don't. You'll need to create some kind of dev branch or whatever branch you're working on, but for now it's good. We'll refresh the page, and there is our code. So we've got our code uploaded to GitHub. How can we make this a template? Well, it could not be easier. We've got some tabs up here: issues, pull requests, actions, projects. We need to go over to settings, and with one click right here, just choose template repository. We've got our green check. We're good to go. So what does that mean? You've gone out, you've gotten yourself a client, you're ready to build in the greatest website they've ever seen. So we come back to GitHub, we click new, your template is here. Just select it, or whichever one you want. Maybe you have more than one. Give it a name, coolest client website, create repository, and now you don't have to deal with building your navbar, your footer, your contact page, your about page over again. It'll save you a ton of time. And like I said before, your future self will thank you. So you've set up your template repository, you build out your client's website, and now you want to deploy it. How do you do that? Well, back in the settings tab in GitHub, we can scroll down to the bottom. You want to look for GitHub pages. Select your master branch and click save. So we've deployed our website now with literally 2 clicks. Your URL here, you can see, is a little bit strange. You probably won't want to deliver that to your client. If it's just on your resume or your LinkedIn, it should be fine. If you want to use a custom domain, again, it's very easy. You'll just go over to some kind of registrar. I prefer to use Namecheap. Find one, buy it. They're usually not $3,880. This is just a popular one. I think they're between $8 and $12 usually. Buy it, come back, put in your domain name, save it, and then you'll have to do a little bit of DNS setup, but it's very easy. You'll go back inside of Namecheap, add a CNAME record, www host, and then your GitHub username .github.io. Save it. In the background, GitHub's going to be propagating, and by that time, you'll probably be able to click enforce HTTPS. Make sure you do that because you want to have a secure connection. Otherwise, Chrome, Safari, pretty much any modern browser is going to throw an error whenever you load the website. But yeah, you've got your website built, deployed for your client. It looks all good on the front end, but now you want to make sure that it looks just as good on the back end, which is where Lighthouse comes in. I'm sure maybe some people out there know what Lighthouse is. If not, what the heck is Lighthouse? Well, it's a very great tool, free tool that Google provides. You can go to any random website, click inspect. I did that kind of fast. Just left click, go here to inspect, open up your dev tools, and up here on the right, click the 2 little arrows and click Lighthouse. Generate report. And a little known fact is that Google uses around a 2 megabyte per second connection to judge the performance of your mobile site, because that is the median connection worldwide. And your website needs to perform just as well for someone in a foreign country in a rural area as it does for someone here in Oklahoma that maybe has a 100 megabyte or gigabyte connection. You can see the 4 main metrics here: performance, accessibility, best practices, and SEO. You can click through each one, and Google provides you a nice detailed list here of things you can do to improve your website. Ideally, you'll go through and try to get 100 in each of these. And then your site will be just as beautiful on the back end as it is on the front end. That is all I have for today, guys. I hope you've been able to learn something. And if you want to look me up on LinkedIn or Slack, and just like everyone else said, feel free to reach out at any time.
Great, thank you, Zach. Let's see if we have any questions for you. I don't see any yet. We'll give it just a second. I'll see if I can find your LinkedIn and share that with everyone. No questions are coming in. We are going to open this call again afterwards. After the last talk, we will share the link. Help me remember if I forget to share that with everyone. And again, find us in Slack. Like Zach mentioned, you can find him there. So thanks again,